currently on the east coast of Caithness, south of Wick, and behind me stands the Stack of Brough, which is currently, at this time of year, completely covered in guillemots. Guillemots are summer visitor to Caithness, and beautiful, beautiful birds. Very much the penguins of the north. Daft as brushes, but the one advantage they've got over penguins is they can actually fly. I'll show you in a couple of minutes a bit of footage there. We're currently just under a kilometre south of the castle of Old Wick. We'll be going there next to hear the story of the Oliphant, the Rose Oliphant, and the Black Sinclair. I'm standing in front of a wartime sentry box. Breeze block, cement, basic construction. And what on earth is this sentry box doing here? Well, fact is, what we're looking for is right bang, slap bang in the middle of a firing range, which is where we're going to go next. This is the castle of Old Wick. It's been standing here for, well, about 1,000 years, roughly. Built originally by the Vikings and knocked down by the settled Vikings once they became sort of Scottish, as it were, which we'll discover in a bit. This is Old Wick Castle, and this is the location where the Oliphants family originally held their stronghold. It's a small stronghold, but it was the centre of a small empire. Their biggest enemy was the Black Sinclairs from further up the coast north of Wick. We are roughly a kilometre south of Wick here at the stronghold of the Oliphants. Now the story goes that the fair Lady Rose, who was the daughter of the king, Oliphant, at the time, was a beautiful and well-desired young lady. When Sinclair proposed marriage to the Rose Oliphant, King Oliphant refused, and the Sinclairs reacted in the only way they knew. They attacked. The Oliphant tribe, or clan, which you won't find used much as a word around the Highlands, managed to hold out the siege for several days. Unfortunately, after several days, people got rather tired and impatient inside. And though this place is pretty impervious to attack, there are two steep geos on either side of this outcrop, the castle itself, and the buildings that used to lay behind it are pretty much immune from any outside danger. So what happened was that there was an inside danger. There was, of course, a traitor in the form of Oliphant's personal secretary, who saw his brighter future with the Black Sinclair. And he burnt the bridge that lies just behind here. There's a small gully here which held a drawbridge, and he lowered the bridge and allowed the clan to rush in. All the Sinclairs rushed in with their weapons and started laying around with their swords and cudgels and whatever, causing the mayhem that is much familiar to people who study the times back then. Eventually they got inside the castle, and the Black went and searched for Chief Oliphant and found him and stabbed him through with a sword. They searched through the castle, and it used to lie on 1, 2, 3 stories with a roof on top, of course, but would find no sign of Rose Oliphant. So the Black ordered that the entire place be razed to the ground, and so it was. Behind the castle here, most of the constructions were wood and straw and mud, basic village constructions of the time, and they wouldn't have survived a great fire. The fire half destroyed the building, took it down to what you more or less see behind me now, right here. A few days later, the fire burnt its way out, and they came back to search through the ruins and pillage whatever valuables that they could find from the Oliphants. And hidden in a small alcove in a wall on an upper level, behind perhaps that window right there, there was a small hidden alcove, and in that alcove they found bones, and there were bones of a young lady, and she wore a necklace identifying her as Rose Oliphant. Sinclair, the Black, never got what he actually wanted, the wife and beauty of his dreams. Unfortunate. We're looking up at the other side of the window that I pointed out earlier, and I wonder, is that a fireplace there, or is that the last resting place of the Rose Oliphant? According to the books, this place was originally built and founded by Earl Harold, I think. But it was later, as I say, it was later handed over to the Earls of Orkney and Caithness, and via violent routes. The Oliphants being one branch, and the Sinclairs really being the main branch, has remained to this day. In fact, there are Oliphants and Sinclairs still in Caithness to this day. It's a beautiful place, it's been a beautiful day, and I am gasping for a cup of tea. So there we have the story of Old Wick Castle, or the Castle of Wick, or Old Wick, various other names, and a cup of tea.